We welcome all viewers of the Freedom TV channel. This is our time, and here are the top news stories at this hour. In the studio, Yuri Kulinich. Another massive Russian attack on Ukraine. Starting in the evening, Russians launched drones at peaceful Ukrainian cities from several directions at once, and by morning, missiles followed. Explosions were heard in several regions. The main strike by the aggressor country was directed at western Ukraine. In the Ivano-Frankivsk region, 3 people were injured. Among them were 2 children. The Russians also attacked the Lviv region. There were no deaths or injuries there. An energy facility, a business, and a warehouse were damaged. In the Khmelnytskyi region, residential buildings were damaged. Ternopil suffered some of the most extensive consequences from this Russian attack. 12 people were killed as a result of the combined strike by the Russian Federation's army on Ternopil. The Russians struck the city in the morning with drones and missiles. Local authorities also report more than 40 injured, including 12 children. According to rescuers, critical damage was recorded in 2 apartment buildings. In one of them, as a result of the strike, the structures collapsed from the 9th to the 3rd floors. Evacuation of residents from blocked apartments is ongoing. People are also being searched for under the rubble. Points of invincibility have been set up at the site, and psychologists are working there.
As a result of Russian terrorist attacks, residential buildings have been hit. Unfortunately, there are dead and wounded. I ask all residents of the Solnishny neighborhood to close their windows and not go outside unless absolutely necessary. All emergency and rescue services are working here on site. Right now, we're determining what residents need in terms of plastic sheeting, building materials, and housing. We will provide all the information later. We are also reaching out. If evacuation's needed, help will be provided. Please do not panic right now. All services are working on site.
Nearly 50 people were injured as a result of the combined attack on Kharkiv. Among them are 2 children. Around midnight, the Russian Federation Army used Gerin-2 drones to strike civilian targets. A supermarket pavilion, apartment buildings, and an educational institution were hit. Responders are present at the site of the impact. Rescuers are eliminating the consequences of the fire. About 50 people were evacuated from the residential apartment building. 5 Kharkiv residents are in the hospital. Their condition is of moderate severity.
Starting at midnight, the Slobitsky and Osnaviansky districts of Kharkiv were subjected to air attacks by the enemy. Strike UAVs of the Gerin-2 type were used. At present, 15 impact sites have been identified. Inspection and collection of debris are ongoing at the sites. The targets were civilian infrastructure, specifically a supermarket building, an educational institution, apartment buildings, and civilian vehicles.
The explosion was terrifying. It blew out my room, the balcony, and my windows. The windows had just been replaced, just recently. My daughter and I didn't sleep at all last night. We were taking out the glass, and now her boyfriend came and is knocking it out. The blast wave blew the middle part straight into the room. And now they're carefully knocking out and removing the glass around the window frames, making sure to do it gently.
Were you scared?
Scared, very scared, very. But what about me? I'm already 87 years old.
In the Dnipropetrovsk region, one of the Russian strikes hit the territory of a DTEC unit. 5 company employees were injured. One of them is in serious condition. Energy facilities in the Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Lviv, Cherkasy, and Donetsk regions also came under heavy shelling by the Russian Federation, according to the energy company. Russian forces launched 48 missiles of various types and more than 470 drones at Ukraine during another terrorist attack. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky wrote about this on social media. The energy sector, transportation, and civilian infrastructure have been damaged. Each such Russian attack on Ukrainian cities is further proof that the pressure on Moscow is insufficient, the president of Ukraine emphasized. Effective sanctions and assistance to Ukraine can change this. The top priority is air defense missiles and additional systems. Increasing the capabilities of our combat aviation and drone production to protect lives. Russia must be held accountable for its actions, and we must stay focused on everything that strengthens us and enables us to shoot down Russian missiles, neutralize Russian drones, and stop assaults. Volodymyr Zelensky, president of Ukraine, on Telegram. An attempt to wipe out peaceful people and their lives from the face of the earth. This is how the EU ambassador to Kiev, Katerina Mathernova, commented on today's Russian strike on Ukraine. She spoke emotionally about the events of the past night, calling the shelling a real hell. Mathernova also expressed her condolences to the families and loved ones of those killed.
Friends of the victims describe a night that is impossible to forget. Chaos, fire, screams, destroyed residential buildings. This is the reality of Russian terror directed against civilians. This is not a fight against the army. This is an attempt to wipe people and their lives off the face of the earth. Ukraine is under constant shelling. Civilians are dying, the energy system is being destroyed. Winter is approaching, and yet Ukraine continues to fight. For all of us, Katerina Mathernova, EU ambassador to Ukraine. Hey, Spud.
In total, Russia launched 524 aerial attack weapons against Ukraine on Wednesday night. Among them were more than 470 drones, 47 cruise missiles of various types, and one Iskander-M ballistic missile. This was reported by the Air Force of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The defenders of Ukraine's skies neutralized 442 drones, 34 Kh-101 cruise missiles, and 7 Caliber missiles. At this time, missile and drone strikes have been recorded at 14 locations. In 6 more locations, debris from downed targets fell. Due to today's massive Russian attack on Ukraine, Romania scrambled combat aircraft. An unidentified drone was detected in the country's airspace. This was reported by Romania's Ministry of Defense. The drone flew about 8 kilometers deep into Romanian territory before disappearing from radar. 2 Eurofighter jets and 2 F-16s were ready to intercept. I'll add that because of the Russian air attack, Poland also scrambled fighter jets and an early warning radar aircraft over Ukraine. Ukraine will be able to purchase a package of Patriot system upgrades from the United States. The decision was approved by the US State Department. They stated that the deal is worth $105 million. Earlier, Washington received a corresponding request from Kyiv. The State Department added that the potential agreement will improve Ukraine's ability to counter current and future threats. This proposed agreement will help achieve the foreign policy and national security goals of the United States by enhancing the security of a partner country that is a driving force for political stability and economic progress in Europe. And a statement from the U.S. State Department. Poland has asked the United States for assistance in investigating sabotage on the railway. This was reported by the Polish radio station RMF24, citing several sources. According to them, Poland's National Security Agency has established contact with U.S. intelligence services. Discussions are currently underway. Meanwhile, The Guardian reports that after the sabotage, Poland will close the last remaining Russian consulate in the country, located in Gdansk. Let me remind you that this past weekend an explosion occurred on a section of railway between Lublin and Warsaw. The tracks were damaged, and train traffic was halted. Poland considers this an act of sabotage with a Russian trace. Russia's attacks on the EU, including the sabotage on the Polish railway, should be classified as terrorism. This was stated by the EU's chief diplomat, Kaja Kallas. According to her, Russia is trying to make the European Union stop helping Kyiv. However, EU countries must stand up to Moscow's provocations. The acts of sabotage they are organizing on our territory in various countries are extremely serious. Right now, the Russians are trying to sow fear in our societies so that we refrain from helping Ukraine. Russia is indeed trying to test how far it can go. We must fight back. Kaja Kallas, High Representative of the EU for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico requested to strengthen Slovakia's air defense during a meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. This was reported by the press service of the Slovak government. Fico also added that Bratislava has the right to independently determine what percentage of GDP to spend on defense in the coming years. He also reiterated that Slovakia will not directly supply lethal weapons to Ukraine, except under commercial contracts. The United States of America has officially granted Saudi Arabia the status of a major non-NATO ally. This was announced by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. During a formal dinner at the White House with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, it was noted that several U.S. partners in different regions of the world already have this status. According to Trump, Washington and Riyadh have signed a strategic defense agreement. Prior to this, the leaders announced that Saudi Arabia will invest $1 trillion in the United States. I am pleased to announce that we are taking our military cooperation to an even higher level by officially recognizing Saudi Arabia as a major non-NATO ally, which is very important for them.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.